Join us and discover beautiful beaches, rugged landscapes, pretty towns, desolate mountain ranges that sweep down to stunning lakes, unique architecture, history and folklore, no shamrocks, no shillelaghs, and definitely no shenanigans, just naked Ireland. I was on my way from Achill Island to Westport when I passed through the unassuming little town of Newport, and I couldn't resist the opportunity to get out of the car and have a look around. I found it interesting because, as you can see, it doesn't really look like other Irish towns or villages. Its spacious layout and broad streets are quite a shock to the system after travelling on the west coast. And you can see there's a railway viaduct in front of us. Again, it's another aspect of the town that's pretty striking. It's now unused, but makes for a quite picturesque backdrop, and that's St Patrick's Church up there in the hill, a Romanesque revival style building. The reason for the town's seemingly unorganic layout is that it was designed by a guy called James Moore. We don't often talk about Irish towns as being designed, although you may remember in my video on Clifton and on Westport, something similar had happened in those places. Anyway, this guy James Moore was working on the estate of the Medlicott family. I'm assuming they were English landed gentry. So Mr. Moore designed the quay here. This was back in the 18th century. And this is a very beautiful Black Oak River. It would have carried goods from Westport, which is just south of here, to James Moore's newly established quays. Fishing, as you can imagine, is a popular pastime here, so if you're a keen angler, perhaps this is where you should take your holidays. It's certainly peaceful. And you can stay in one of the two hotels in the town, Newport House or Newport Hotel. And there's the viaduct again. So the river's a very beautiful asset to the town, and there's walks alongside it that you can take advantage of if you do fancy holidaying here. So back to the 18th century again, and the Medlicott's land agent, a Captain Pratt, unfortunate name, introduced the town to linen manufacturing. Now I always, being from Belfast, associated linen manufacturing with my own city, and it seems there is a connection because some of the first immigrants to Newport were Quakers from Ulster. The town was, for a period, named after Pratt. It was called Newport Pratt. I must say I preferred Newport myself. Apparently the Quakers worked hard, as immigrants are known to do, and as a result the town prospered. So while immigration is certainly a hot topic in Ireland, we can see that it's no new phenomenon. I mean, a Quaker from Ulster in the 18th century must have appeared as foreign as a Syrian refugee nowadays. And actually these Quakers were in pretty destitute circumstances initially, as many immigrants are. To travel from Ulster to Mayo in the 18th century must have been quite a culture shock, dealing with religious differences, language differences perhaps. After all, Ulster Irish is a very different dialect from Connacht, and would certainly have been markedly different then, if the Quakers even spoke Irish. And getting to Mayo in the 18th century from Ulster must have been quite a voyage in itself. You'd get your fishing tackle in there, I think. By the way, please like the video if it's interesting or informative, and please subscribe and hit the little bell icon so that you know when I post. It only happens once a week, but I'm sure you'd be interested. Incidentally, this video was shot in October, so great that the weather's been so good. It just shows you that you can't depend on the weather in Ireland, either good weather or bad weather. You take your chances. And as always, there's some lovely wee pubs in the town. It's just a shame I'm passing through. I can imagine these would be cosy places after dark. Now here's an interesting fact. Grace Kelly, or Princess Grace of Monaco's ancestral home, is near here. The princess and her husband, Prince Rainier, visited in 1961. Believe it or not, I think it was during a state visit. Nevin's bar looking inviting there. And they bought the property in 1979. I wonder is it still in the family? Can you imagine European royalty in Newport? So there you go, there's one of the two hotels right in front of us, the Hotel Newport, not to be confused with Newport House. I'm certain there'll be lots of great little bed and breakfasts around here too, there always is. And I think that's the Romanesque style tower of St Patrick's Church I mentioned earlier that we can see down that street. You can see the autumn leaves on the ground. Actually, it's Halloween, so you might have even noticed some of the shops have spooky decorations. Nice murals. Kind of unusual to see murals like that outside of a city. So we're heading back down the street now, back to the river again. It's very quiet, as you can see. Except for that tractor. Proof, if you need it, that we're right in the middle of the west of Ireland, in the countryside. I should say, by the way, that you can now buy me a pint if you're a real fan of the channel. Every donation helps, I can assure you. If you're in a position to do that, check out the description below. You'll find a link in the second paragraph that allows you to buy me an old pint. And I think you may have been able to spot the Halloween window dressing in that shop there. And the row of colourful houses you can see in front of us is where we started our walk from. Now here's where it starts to get very beautiful again. And there's the viaduct. We take a quick race across this road here. Over to this big anchor thing, which is presumably a relic from the town's time as a port. And there you go, look at that. Newport in County Mayo. It's probably not the obvious place to come on holiday, but it certainly has its appeal. So I'll leave you with this view of the viaduct, and I'll see you all in the next Naked Ireland video.